At the end of this video, you'll be able to round a number to nearest 1, which is the same as nearest whole number, nearest 10, nearest 100, nearest 1000, nearest 10,000, and nearest 100,000. And in the subsequent video, we're going to learn how to work with decimal places, significant figures, and standard form. We apply rounding off numbers daily in our lives. Rounding makes a number easier to work with, but the result is less accurate. You round a number up or down, as we're going to see shortly. Let's start with nearest 1, which is the same as nearest whole number. Whole numbers are integers that start from 0 to positive infinite numbers. Fractions and decimals are not allowed. In this video, we are going to consider only positive integers, which are counting numbers. Let's consider this question. Round each of these numbers to the nearest 1, which is nearest whole number. Let's consider 5.8. 5 is a whole number, and 6 is also a whole number, and this is halfway between them. 5.8 is closer to 6 than to 5. Your answer must either be 5 or 6. Our answer is 6. Next, let's consider 12.1. 12.1 is between two whole numbers, which are 12 and 13, and this is halfway between the both of them. 12.1 is closer to 12 than to 13. Hence, our answer is 12. Next, consider 8.6. 8.6 is between 8 and 9 on the integer number line. Considering halfway between them, hence our answer is 9. Next, consider 4.4. 4.4 is in between 4 and 5 whole numbers, halfway between them, and our answer is 4. Next, consider 15.3, which is a decimal between 15 and 16, halfway between them. 15.3 is closer to 15 than to 16. Hence, our answer is 15. Next, consider 325.9, which is a decimal between 325 and 326, which are whole numbers, but halfway between them. 325.9 is closer to 326 than 325. Hence, our answer is 326. Next, consider 0.7, which is between 0 and 1, and halfway between them. 0.7 is closer to 1 than to 0, and our answer is 1. Next, consider 18.5, which is between 18 and 19 and is exactly halfway between the both of them. In such a condition, 18.5, we're going to round up 18.5 to the nearest integer towards the right, and our answer is 19. With practice, this is quite simple. Complete this assignment. Round to the nearest whole number. Next, let's consider rounding numbers to the nearest 10. Rounding number to the nearest 10, consider numbers between 0 and 10, 10 and 20, 20 and 30, and so on. Let's consider this question. Round each of these numbers to the nearest 10. Let's consider 43. 43 is between 40 and 50. 43 is closer to 40 than to 50. Hence, our answer is 40. Next, consider 76. 76 is between 70 and 80. 76 is closer to 80 than to 70. Hence, our answer is 80. Next, consider 28. 28 is between 20 and 30. 28 is closer to 30 than to 20. Our answer is 30. Next, consider 59, which is between 50 and 60. 59 is closer to 60 than to 50. Our answer is 60. Next, consider 81. 81 is between 80 and 90. 81 is closer to 80 than to 90. Our answer is 80. Let's round each of these numbers to the nearest 10. Let's consider 10.5. 10.5 is between 10 and 20. Halfway between them is 15. 10.5 is not up to 15. 10.5 is closer to 10 than to 20. Our answer is 10. Next, let's consider 5.4. 5.4 is between 0 and 10. Halfway between them is 5. 5.4 is greater than 5. Hence, 5.4 is closer to 10 than to 0. Our answer is 10. For 4.9, our answer is going to be 0. Next, consider 5.5, which is between 0 and 10. And halfway between them is 5, which is greater than 5 and is closer to 10 than to 0. Our answer is 10. Next, 32.25, which is between 30 and 40. Halfway between them is 35. 32.25 is closer to 30 than to 40. Our answer is 30. Next, let's consider 24.8, which is between 20 and 30. Halfway between them is 25. 24.8 is not up to 25. Hence, it's going to be closer to 20 than to 30. Our answer is 20. Next, consider 879.35, which is going to be between 870 and 880. And halfway in between them is 875. 879.35 is greater than 875. Hence, our answer is going to be 880. Next, consider 50. 50 is already in 810. Our answer is 50. Next, consider 1.53. 1.53 is between 0 and 10. Halfway between them is 5. 1.53 is less than 5 and is closer to 0 than to 10. The nearest 10 of 1.53 is 0. Next, let's consider rounding numbers to the nearest 100. This will consider numbers between 0 and 100, 100 to 200, 200 to 300, and continues to infinite numbers. We are going to round these numbers to the nearest 100. Let's consider 126. And we're going to round this to the nearest 100. Hence, we're going to have 0, 0, 1. The number 1 will be modified or it will stay the same. But 2 is not up to 5. Hence, this 1 remains the same. And the 2 and the 6 become 0. That is, 126 is closer to 100 than to 200. And in between is 150. And 126 is somewhere here. The nearest 100 of 126 is 100. And for the nearest 10, we're going to have 0, 1, which is 10, which falls on 2. Hence, 2 will either be modified or stays the same. But 6 is up to 5. 1 will remain the same. And the 2 will become 3. The 6 is now 0. Hence, for the nearest 10 of 126 is 130. Halfway between 120 and 130 is 125. And 126 is somewhere here, which is closer to 130. Next, consider 248. 248 to the nearest 100 is 0, 0, 1. We are not concerned about this 0 and this 0, which is 4 and 8. We are going to consider first if these two will be modified or if it's going to stay the same. 4 is not up to 5. Hence, 2 will not be modified. The 4 and the 8 become zeros. Because halfway between 200 and 300 is 250. And 248 is somewhere here, which is closer to 200. For the nearest 10, which is 0, 1, here we are concerned now about 4. And we're going to see if 4 will be modified or it will stay the same. However, 2 is free because this 2 is not affected by the modification. 8 can modify 4, which will become 5. And the 8 is now 0 because halfway between 240 and 250 is 245. And 248 is somewhere here, which is closer to 250 than 240. Next, let's consider 368 to the nearest 100, which is 001. 3 will be modified or it will stay the same. 6 can modify 3 to become 4, and 6 and 8 becomes 00 because 300 and 400 at the ends of 368. 368 is more than 350, which is closer to 400 than to 300. And to round this to the nearest 10, which is 01, 6 will be modified or it will stay the same. But 8 can modify 6 to become 7. And we're going to have 370. And this 8 will acquire this 0 because 365 is midway between 360 and 370, and 368 is somewhere here, which is closer to 370 than to 360. Next, let's consider 255 to the nearest 100. We're going to have 001. Hence, 2 will either be modified or it will stay the same. However, 5 can modify 2 to become 3. Hence, we're going to write 3. However, this 5 and this 5 will now acquire these zeros. 255 is closer to 300 than to 200. 250 is halfway between 200 and 300. For the nearest 10, which is 01, 5 will be modified. 5 can modify 5 to become 6, and 2 will remain unchanged, and this position will become 0. 255 is halfway between 250 and 260. Hence, we're going to round up to 260. Now that you understand how it works, complete the table. Complete the table. Round to the nearest 100. For 9552, to the nearest 100 is going to be 001. I'm going to be modifying 5. Hence, 9 is free. 5 can modify this 5 to become 6. And these 2, 5 and 2, will acquire zeros. This is our answer. And for 4577, to the nearest 100 will become 001. Hence, 5 is going to be modified or is going to stay the same. 4 is free. 7 can modify 5 and is going to become 6. This 7 and this 7 will acquire zeros, and this is our answer. And for 1825 to the nearest 100, 8 will either be modified or stay the same. However, 2 cannot modify 8. The 2 and the 5 will acquire zeros. Use this approach and complete the table. Next, let's consider rounding numbers to the nearest 1000. Nearest 1000 considers 1000, 2000, 3000, and so on. The nearest 1000 of 3 to 7 is 0. Likewise, for 192 is 0. Halfway between 0 and 1000 is 500. Both are not up to 500. They are closer to 0 than to 1000. Consider 1436. To the nearest 1000 is 0001. Hence, this will be modified or it will stay the same. 4 is not up to 5, hence cannot modify 1. 1 will return, and this will acquire zeros. Next, consider 5734. To the nearest 1000 is 0001. 5 will be modified or it will stay the same. However, 7 can modify 5 and is going to become 6. And this will acquire the zeros. Next, let's consider 9552. To the nearest 1000 is 0001. Hence, 9 will be modified or it will stay the same. However, 5 can modify 9 to become 10. And this will acquire these 3 zeros. Using this approach, complete the table. Next, rounding numbers to the nearest 10,000. Let's round the following numbers to the nearest 10,000. Consider the first question. To the nearest 10,000 is 00001. That's 10,000, which falls on 2. 2 will either be modified or stay the same. 4 is not affected, hence 4 will return. But 3 cannot modify 2, hence 2 will return. 3, 6, 8, and 0 will all acquire zeros. And this is the nearest 10,000. Next, consider the second question. To the nearest 10,000 is 00001. Hence, 6 will be modified or it will stay the same. However, 9 can modify 6, which will become 7. 9059 will all acquire zeros. And this is our answer. Next, consider the third question. To the nearest 10,000 becomes 000. We have 0 and we have 1. This is 10,000. This 0 will either be modified or it will stay the same. However, 3 is not up to 5 and cannot modify 0. 3, 4, 5 is not affected by these modifications. Hence, it will return. 3, 1, 5, 8 will all acquire these zeros. And this becomes our answer. Round the following numbers to the nearest 10,000. Next, rounding numbers to the nearest 100,000. Let's round the following numbers to the nearest 100,000. To the nearest 100,000 is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and 1 here. This 100,000. And this falls on 5. These 3 2 will remain unchanged. 5 is either modified or stays the same. However, 7 can modify 5 to become 6, and 5, 4, 1, 8, 9 will acquire these zeros, and this becomes our answer. Next, let's consider the second question. To the nearest 100,000 will become 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. This is 100,000, and it falls on 5. 2, 0, 0, 7 remain unchanged, hence they will return. 1 cannot modify 5, hence 5 will return. And 1, 3, 0, 1, 0 we acquire these zeros, and this becomes our answer. Next, consider the third question. To the nearest 100,000 becomes 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. This is 100,000, and it fell on 5. 5 will either be modified or remains the same. But 7 can modify 5, and it will become 6. 7, 8, 6, 5, 6 will all acquire zeros, and this becomes our answer. Round each of these numbers to the nearest 100,000. Complete the table. Also complete the table. In the next video, we are going to learn how to work with decimal places, significant figures, and standard form. To locate all the videos, follow the link on the screen. We see you in the next video lesson.